After finishing binging Attack on Titan, I thought my anime trauma era was over for a while, but oh boy was I wrong. Hello everyone and welcome to the 3Style review for Suzume. So I went into this movie knowing pretty much nothing except for the fact that it was directed by Makoto Shinkai, who did Weathering With You and Your Name. So obviously knowing that, I presumed I was in for something special, and I was definitely right. Starting with the positives, first off, let's get the obvious out of the way. This movie looks absolutely gorgeous in every way, and the soundtrack is also perfect. This movie is technically, it's a masterpiece. There's a few CGI moments that maybe feel a little out of place, but they don't pull you out of the movie. The colors, the animation, all of it's top notch, and it really pulls you into this world and makes you feel as if this world itself is actually a character in the movie. We get to see many different ruins and abandoned areas throughout the film, and just the style of it, how it's all been taken over by nature, it gives this otherworldly feel which carries throughout the film. And the score has moments where it can be powerful and emotional, it also has quieter moments, but overall it's just a very ethereal feeling. I don't know how else better to describe it than that. Everything on a technical level just draws you into the film. Second, the story itself, it's just incredibly well written, it's so emotional, it's so powerful, and the connection to the real life events that happened in Japan makes it hit that much harder. The combination of the fantasy elements, which this director often uses, with those real life events just make it that much more powerful. It makes you care about the characters, it makes you care about their journey and where everything ends up. The themes explored here are handled with such care and such compassion that it feels really genuine. It doesn't feel like emotional bait. It doesn't feel like the director is just trying to make you cry for the sake of it. It feels real. And finally is something that I did not expect going into the movie, and that's the humor. This is the most I've had my audience in the cinema laugh in a long time. This film's really funny. And the best part about it is the humor it's very realistic, it's very heartfelt, it's very natural. I think that's the best way I could describe it. It's not just jokes for the sake of jokes like we have in a lot of Marvel movies nowadays. Honestly, just a lot of blockbusters nowadays. It's just weaved perfectly into the script, into the movie. On one scene with a car later on in the movie especially, just it's really good stuff. In terms of my 3 issues with the movie, I found these really hard to choose, so these are basically just going to be nitpicks. I didn't have any big issues with the movie overall. The first one that I mentioned earlier being a couple of CGI moments that feel a bit off. They never take you out of the movie, as I said, but it's noticeable. And it doesn't gel perfectly with the beautiful animation. Secondly is a criticism I can imagine a lot of people are going to have, and that's the elements of this movie are pretty familiar from his other 2 big movies. I can't say too much without spoilers, but you're definitely going to notice some commonalities here. But for me, it felt like they were done in just a fresh enough way, and the inclusion of the real life events made it feel very genuine and made it feel very unique. Finally, I thought maybe the pacing was slightly off in the second half of the movie. Maybe it dragged slightly. It's, again, very minor nitpick, but maybe they could have shaved off 5-10 minutes of content here and there in especially the second half of the movie. But yeah, overall, I thought the pacing was pretty great. In case you couldn't tell, I'm having a really hard time critiquing this movie because I loved it so much. So yeah, overall, this is pretty much everything you're going to want from a Makoto Shinkai film. And it's one of those great anime films where it feels like you don't have to be a fan of anime to really enjoy and really appreciate this film. I think it would not necessarily be a great gateway into anime because it's a very unique experience to his movies, but I feel like it's one of those where anyone can appreciate this, anyone can watch this and really enjoy it. I'm definitely going to be giving Suzume an instant replay. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure to check out my socials, my other videos, links are in the description, and I will see you in a blur.